to Steelers Today. He's Tom Reed. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. Dale Lawley is in Canton covering speeches.
Lots of speeches. Lots of Steelers speeches.
He left the actual football to us here on day 14 of camp. And it was a day that wasn't all that super eventful. They weren't in full pads. They were just doing shells. And the biggest news out of it really was the fact that Kevin Dotson returned and went to the second team, the second string offensive line. Chuks Okorafor also returned, but he went to the first string.
Yep.
What might this tell us, Mr. Reed?
Well, I think you've done some reporting on this.
A little bit.
So go ahead. I'll be the Gretzky to your Curry. I'm setting you up. Go ahead, take it from there.
Oh, if only I had Yari Curry's touch around the net. This coaching staff has not been happy with Kevin Dotson. I reported this a month ago. It was not well received by Steelers Nation because you don't like to hear something negative about a young player. Young players are where we put our hopes and dreams in because we haven't seen them yet. We haven't become bitter about them yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? They haven't quite reached their Mason Rudolph phase where you just get like everything's unpopular.
And also, too, he at the end of last season, he was kind of on the ascendancy.
He was really good.
Yeah,
I thought he should have stayed in the lineup instead of Matt Filer going into the playoffs, and I guarantee you the Browns appreciated that he wasn't in there as well for the playoff game. But look, I don't know what it is. I did not ever report that it was conditioning or being out of shape or anything like that. I put in this original report that they were angry with him, and I don't know why. I still don't know why. What I do know is that he's not out there with the first team. Rashad Coward is. So what that adds, Tom, is yet another layer of to this offensive line.
Well, you know, we think about this team coming into the season. The quarterback's been pretty good over his career. Not a bad quarterback, probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. Running back, everything we've seen from Najee Harris looks pretty good. There's a pretty decent group of wide receivers, not bad, and it could all be blown up.
All of it.
If the offensive line isn't very good.
All of it.
And that is, it's the biggest story of camp. There can be no other bigger story of those guys working as one by the time September 12th rolls around when they get to the Bills. And right now you have likely a starter who's not starting in practice because he's, for whatever reason, the coaching staff was not happy with where he was.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't leave any doubt about that. Here's what Mike Tomlin had to say whenever the subject of Dotson came up.
Man, I can't tell you. I look at the tape first. It was good to have him back out there today.
Did he go with the seed because you like the power center?
He has done nothing to earn first-team reps. What are we talking about? He's a second-year guy that hadn't worked.
Pretty unmistakable stuff, huh?
Yes.
I mean, that is not leaving much room for, who is your source? All of that stuff that I was hearing from. They're not happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it's such especially when you see a player play that well at the end of the season, you're expecting him to be ready, right? Because there's an opening. There is now a clear path to a starting job. And, you know, as your reporting bears out, that they, for whatever reason it is, they weren't happy. The fact that he's out here, as you said, usually...
And it's not just him, too. It's, Chuks obviously took a while to come back.
Also switching
sides. Zach Banner...
Coming off an injury
and still wasn't able to go on back-to-back days. Now, there's nothing to our knowledge that's wrong.
Right,
it's just they're trying to work him back in. But that's still more. Now, Trey Turner is out there. You know, for better or worse, we'll see how that goes with him.
A rookie center.
He's a rookie center, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't give some due to Kendrick Green because he's shown well so far.
Yeah.
He's shown, to my eyes, great communication with Ben Roethlisberger. They did extensive work separately from everyone else here today. So it's hard to get. I know nobody wants to hear this. Everyone, when it's training camp or spring training or anything in any sport, everyone wants to just hear the happy stuff. And I get that. We could give you Najee Harris every day. Najee's awesome. But the problem is when we get to week 1 in Buffalo, all you're going to talk about is this offensive line.
Yeah, for better.
One way or the other. All you're going to talk about is this offensive line, and it matters. Welcome back. Let's talk Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, made some nice throws today.
He made a bunch of them. You and I are standing here and we're going, hang on, he's not going to make another one.
Yeah.
And then he made an even better one. And then he's doing it through traffic, kind of feeding off the Ben Roethlisberger joke about being able to throw the ball through a car wash without getting it wet.
Right.
He made several of those throws. And Tom, when he does so, he does it without really looking nervous.
Yeah.
What's his flaw? What is it?
Well, I think coming here, obviously there was a question of maturity.
Okay.
It seemed, and I think there was a question maybe of putting in the work off the field. Obviously a quarterback they've got to have all that stuff down. And I think in their heart of hearts, Ohio State would have loved to keep him around for another year.
For more reasons than one. Yeah.
Right. And I do think part of it was that. And of course, he could not have gone to a worse team because of the ownership, like the fact that that kid went to the same school as his kid, ran down to the locker room when he was hurt at one point, and it was just from there. And the kid, look, he made mistakes. There were off-field mistakes.
He did, but so did Washington. Let's be real clear on that.
Really bad marriage.
Very bad idea.
And you always hear about not going to your hometown team. So we'll see. We'll see. I thought he was okay the other night. Each game will be a bigger test. Tomlin was down here talking about it's great to see stuff out here, but it counts way more on Thursday night. Way more
in the stadiums. Yeah, right. They're weighing way more what they see in the actual exhibition games. And that, I think, is going to go double probably for the quarterbacks because they're the ones that are dealing with cadence and sound.
Again, after a year of not doing any of that.
And after total silence for the most part.
It was interesting. I thought it was interesting to hear Tomlin say, I think Mike Rizzuta asked about, are you doing more 2-minute drills? And I think his point was, we've got a couple of contenders, so yes, we want,
He gave it away. I'm gonna elaborate on that. The question was, are you doing more 2-minute drills for a reason? Tomlin came back with, yes, we're doing them because we have the number of quarterbacks that we need to look at. Tomlin is insisting, and I respect this, that Josh Dobbs is in the mix. Josh Dobbs has thrown the ball well. He might have thrown the ball better than anybody in Canton. Yeah. So you could see a scenario here where 2, 3, and 4 are this. Yeah. Just a total toss-up. And that's surprising. It really is.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think people were kind of intrigued when Haskins came available and they picked him up. He's young.
They were, but I think a lot of people in the Steelers Nation just thought, here's another Paxton Lynch, and he's just going to be fourth, and he's going to go on a practice squad, and you're never going to hear about him again.
You never know.
You never know.
You don't.
He has made it interesting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and he's in a better organization, no question. Better organization. Farther along down the line, if he takes advantage of learning from one of the great quarterbacks, then we'll see. We'll see.
Thanks to everybody for watching Steelers Today.